Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible. This episode, Warty Wade, the ocular expert, wants revenge on his form for all its weaknesses. Bitchable Bob questions his facial accoutrements, but defends his manly form and love of kin. Medically augmented Mark finds speculum suspect, adores the idea of farming, and masters his own mentality. From laser crushers to the best Batman. Yes, it's time for My Body Betrayed Me. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Distractible. I'm today's host, Wade. Why? Because I won last episode, where Bob and I competed, Mark hosted, and this one, those two are competing and I'm hosting. That's the way things work here. There was a bit of a ending to the last episode that I hope you all got to see, and if you didn't, I guess I won't say anymore, but if you did, you know you know. If you know, IYKYK. Today, I've got a fun topic. I guess I call it a topic. I got a fun discussion to be had. But traditionally, before we get to that, I open the floor for the contestants to talk about what's going on in their lives and how they're doing. So, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hi.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
I'm feeling antagonized.
You should. Well, this episode's called Mark's Never Fucking Winning When I Host Again. So, like, you should.
Are you kidding? All right, wait, where's the title? Where am I looking?
I am, but Bob's definitely winning this episode.
Ah, hooray.
But, like, it's going to be fair and you have an equal chance to win, Mark. I just predicting.
Is there like a bet on this?
Yeah, you want to bet me? How much you want to put down?
Do I have my wallet? Nah, I don't have my wallet on me.
Not technically in the Constitution. Hang on, we could probably do this. No, I have a question, and you guys both have some insight into this that I'm curious about. I'm still wearing these glasses, yes, and I'm not a huge fan of them. They're heavy. I'm thinking about getting contacts. Mark, you've lived with contacts, and you still wear contacts, right, Wade?
Yeah, I've worn contacts since like junior high.
Because then I could just wear whatever gas station sunglasses I want. I don't have to have prescriptions, blah, blah, blah. And I can still wear my purple glasses that I miss. I could just get those with non-prescription lenses. And then I'd just be like, that's my look. It's my aesthetic. Should I get contacts or not? Tell me, sell me on it, or don't. Tell me it's bad.
I really like wearing contacts. However, like in my downtime, I still just wear glasses. Like if I'm just like chilling around the house, I'll usually wear glasses because they're more comfortable and my eyes dry out a little bit. If I'm doing certain chores, like I was scrubbing the house not too long ago, we had just deep clean, scrubbing toilets, scrubbing shower floors, shower walls, like, you know, just the deep clean you have to do every once in a while. And I had my glasses on and just like, I've got no hair. I wasn't wearing a headband. So my sweat was just running, dripping, covering my glasses, making it hard to see. So I was like, oh, fuck. So I put my contacts in. It was like, oh, this is much better. Or like, you know, playing sports, stuff like that. Like there's just times where wearing contacts is so much preferred. Wearing headphones like these, sometimes like the sides of your glasses push into your temples a little bit and it's uncomfortable, whereas contacts, you don't deal with that. I definitely like wearing contacts, but I also like wearing glasses depending on the situation, but it's nice to be able to do both.
Aren't you like squeamed out by eye stuff?
Me? No.
Oh God, don't do that.
You want to see it closer?
No.
His fingers are definitely clean. That's definitely a good thing to be doing right now.
No, what is he doing? Wait, you worked at an eye clinic.
Eyes naturally clean themselves. It's totally fine. I licked my hands clean after I used the toilet before this.
Typically, you only want to do that if you're touching like a lot of splintered up wood, so that way you have a high chance of like penetrating your eye with some wood splinters.
Okay, so if you can do that, then you should be fine putting in contacts, I suppose. However, I will say this, as someone who has had a laser eye surgery, put it like lightning behind him. There's nothing greater than waking up and being able to see immediately. I have had, poor vision all my life, and I have had whether glasses or contacts, some form of corrective lens in front. It is so divine to be able to just see and see perfectly. I see perfectly. I see incredibly well. My vision is better than it was with contacts. It's not like a comparative. You can get contacts that are really, really good. I see perfectly and I love it. And it's great. So if you were going to look into a no glasses thing, but you can ask anybody that's gotten laser surgery, except for people that it's gone horrifically wrong for. No one's apparently ever gone blind from, laser eye surgery. So there's that. But it has an extremely high level of success, more than contacts if you go by statistics. More people, like about 200 people go blind from contacts a year.
If you have an issue with contact lenses, I imagine like 99.9% of it is user error, like sleeping in your contacts or putting in your contacts when they're dirty. I know when I was a teenager and I stayed over at a friend's house and I didn't want to sleep in my contacts, I was like, oh, I'll just get a glass of like tap water, put my contacts in, then they'll stay nice and moist for the next day. Because you know, tap water has nothing bad that you can put in your eyes. So dumb stuff like that is probably a good portion of it. Or if you get something in your eyes and you don't take out your contacts.
You did that and you survived?
I shouldn't have. Probably should have given myself like a brain worm or something.
There was someone who had contacts and apparently didn't realize you needed to take them out. So basically, they just kept putting in more contacts.
Oh, I've seen that. Ugh.
Yeah, and then some old contacts get like shoved up into the inner eye area. Yeah, so is this reassuring you?
I'm not eye squeamish, but that one made me real hard. That is just horrific.
The worst thing I ever had happen with a contact lens is whenever one starts to like rip, because whenever it rips on your eye, you just feel like the jagged edge, and it's like the most painful thing. It's like having the hair in your eye, but much worse. I've been wearing them, like I said, since junior high, which was what, like 2001, 2002, so like 22 years ago. I've had maybe 4 or 5 issues in that amount of time where I'm like, oh God. And that's usually, like I said, like a ripped one. Getting a hair under your contact lens can happen. That kind of sucks. But like, you literally can have a solution that you just rinse it off and put it back in.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, Mark. I know you got what's yours called? The Smiles?
The Smile.
I don't think there's anyone around here that does that. Or if they do, it's not called that. Because I was looking. I can't find a place in Cincinnati that does that, which is shocking to me because I thought that was more widely.
Let's just fly to LA, have Mark's doctor do it for us. We'll stay for like 3 days and fly home.
Yeah, Mark, you pay for that, right?
What?
Yeah, the flights and the surgery. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, bud.
I'll pay for the flights. I'll do the flight. I'll do the flight. You do the surgery. I'll do the flight. I'll get you out here.
You'll do the surgery. You'll do the surgery. I want the doctor to do the surgery.
I'll do the surgery. I'll do the surgery. I'll fly you. I'll surge you.
I got some tarps. We'll put some tarps up. We'll do a little surge.
Yeah, you need a lot of tarps. Lot of tarps.
You know what, Mark? I'm going to give you bonus points for paying for our eye surgery.
Well, you sold me. Well, see, so this is the thing where I'm at. The idea of the eye surgery, because you showed us like that video thing of it as well, that skeeves me out way worse than just putting contacts in my eye every day. And I don't know why.
Well, start with that then.
But it sounds really nice to just be able to see.
Oh, it's so nice.
Do you still have to like wear readers probably in like your mid 40s?
That's what they said. Like, but that's probably everybody down the road. You'll either have to adjust your prescription, or even if you do that, you might need bifocals or something like that because everyone's eyes start to degrade. So I think even if I was born with perfect eyes, I would probably by that age start to need something else.
I don't know this. It's weird because I actually don't know this statistics. I even haven't worked at an eye clinic, but I do know people that have eye surgery, usually in like your mid 40s or so, like you do need to have reading glasses. And also having LASIK does not stop you from getting cataracts. So you might still have to have cataract surgery. Nothing stops that. That's just your lens fogging up over time. You'll eventually probably have to have cataract surgery if you live long enough. So those two things would still probably be necessary regardless of what you do. But contacts are good. Eye surgery is probably good. Just if you have really dry eyes, I know eye surgery can be a pain sometimes because your eyes do get a bit drier afterwards, but
no, not for me. I've never experienced that. I haven't had any of the side effects that they said would happen. All the starburst pattern stuff, which I had when I had contacts, really went away after the first few months. And I didn't really have any dryness. I put a lot of drops in afterwards. I put a lot of drops in during the recovery process for the first month. I was chugging through eye drops. But then after it healed up fully, I haven't put eye drops in forever. Sometimes late night, it gets dry, but I think that's just through the day.
I want to take away a point for you flexing your perfect body on it.
Mark's eyes are so strong. It's unbelievable.
I when they measured it like a week after I got it, I had 20/15 vision. I have a sneaking suspicion it's either that or more nowadays because I can see forever and spot tiny details.
Basically firing lasers out of those shits right now.
Yeah, the ability to zoom in on things I can't overstate how cool that is.
Can barely do that with my glasses on.
Oh, no, I get like 10x. Like,
well, I'm sold. Surge me, Mark.
Yeah, I would say like contacts aren't a bad idea, but also like I've thought about getting the eye surgery too. The longer I wait, the less it feels like it's gonna be worth it. But so I should just do it.
It's great. It's expensive, but it's great.
I don't know if that counts as small talk, but that's my small talk.
That's good, and it's not expensive if Mark pays for it, so we're good.
yeah, if Mark's going to cover all my expenses and my recovery and feed me and let me live with him for, X amount of time.
Maybe they can put me under and fix my deviated septum, my eyes, and my shoulder all at once.
They just take a big cartoon mallet, and as soon as you go out, actually, they use it to knock you out and do the surgery at the same time. It's really convenient. Whonk!
That's how they do the smile surgery, a mallet? That's
Smile! Wham!
There's a laser that comes out of the mallet when they swing it.
You know what it felt like, actually, when I was doing the surgery? Because, you're in a bed and they raise you up in the machine and you're looking at the light and it's like coming closer. I had this like brief moment. You know those hydraulic press videos where it's like, I was like, they're gonna squish me like a bug, because you're going up towards this thing and you lose all perspective. It's so close it gets blurry, and you hear the same sound because the bed needs to be raised. Like, this is where I die.
Just that, guys. Welcome to the hydraulic press channel. Today we're going to see what happens to Markiplier's eye when we apply 35 tons of pressure to it.
Wow, he went everywhere.
How was it like being awake during the surgery and stuff and watching them?
It was fine. Surgery was fine. A little scary, but whatever. They gave me Xanax beforehand, so
It's got like I've seen it done from like the outside perspective, but I do wonder what it's like to like watch those things go toward your eyes and stuff.
it's scary. And then you're like, I have to look at this green dot and not move, or else my eyes will be horrible forever.
I feel like my ADD would make me terrified of that too, because they'd be like, look at the thing, and I'd be like, oh God.
You're fine. They suction your eye to it.
It's getting worse. Jesus Christ. What if they suck all the juice out of my eye? I need my jelly in there.
That's the point. Yeah, no, I thought about that too, because I'm like, oh man, I started practicing before the surgery. Like, I really got to make sure I could focus looking at things.
Just practicing. Mark's sitting in his room like...
That's really what I was doing. I was like, I would look at a light and I'd go like, oh, and then my eyes would start watering. I'm like, oh, no, don't move or you'll get bad vision.
Puts on his Superman t-shirt and is just like, I got this.
They didn't even tell me that they suction the eye. I didn't know that happened until they raise it up and it goes, and I go like, my eye just got sucked.
They put like the crazy saw looking clamp on there too.
No, they didn't do the clamp. They didn't need to do that because they sucked your eye to it.
When they were doing cataract surgery here in Cincinnati, they had like this crazy contraption to hold your eyelids open that looked like something out of Saw. It was fine, but it looks so barbaric because it's just this big metal thing that sits on your eye and like peels your eyelid up.
It's like that film. What's that film called? Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I've heard of that, but I've never seen it.
I've never seen it, but yeah, that's exactly it. It's like some medical devices are still from the 18th century or something, like a speculum.
Those things look positively unpleasant.
They apparently are. Not that I've ever experienced one, but everything I've heard about them is that they are really, really strangely old school for what they do.
Why update the design? It's very human.
It's very, for everyone who don't know, a speculum is used in gynecological appointments to observe the cervix.
It spreads and holds things open.
It sure doesn't. It's like a little duckbill, and when you press it, it goes.
It looks really unpleasant.
Apparently very unpleasant. So I'm sure any woman out there could probably attest to that.
I think anyone who wants to do that should have to get speculummed, men gynecologists included.
Yeah, how do you think you get your prostate checked?
Do they go in through the tip? Through the tip? My God.
Wait, you got the best delayed jokes. It's like a time bomb. It just takes you a second.
No, I love, what was that? Futurama. Whenever I think about like colonoscopies or whenever when that comes up, it always makes me think of Futurama. It's Fry sitting there on like an exam table and Zoidberg holds up this huge, like really thick camera cable and Fry's like, uh-huh. And he's like, mm-mm.
I can tell you the one they used in my nostril was pretty small, but it still had an impact. So I'm glad they didn't have a thicker one.
Oh yeah, man. I can't imagine a camera through the nose, because that must have been like whenever I had a NG tube in where they shove it through your nose into your stomach. Like, it's got to be the similar width, and that's not pleasant.
The worst part wasn't even the going in. So I don't know if you remember, whenever we were recording in space, we had to have the COVID test like weekly 3 times or whatever it was. And then there was the one day where it was like the higher probe one that was like the...
Oh, yeah.
So it was like that sensation, and then they kept going. which was awful. But then like once it got past that, I didn't feel it like in my throat or anything. The thing I didn't like was the spray. The numbing spray made it feel like the only part of my esophagus I could feel was like the very bottom of it. So when I was like had the swallowing sensation, it kind of reminded me of the swollen uvula a bit, because it's just like I kept like feeling like I had to swallow, like my swallowing felt wrong, like I wasn't breathing properly or something. I don't know. It was uncomfortable.
The NG tube is that for hours. It sucks. It's just like something on the throat. Oh, but speaking of that COVID test, did I ever tell you guys about when I went to Korea to film my mom's documentary? They were still doing COVID tests at the airport in Seoul, and I had done all of space almost every day. I think it was every other day we had a COVID test, and it was like, and then on Friday it was like what you said, the deep one. So I took a lot of COVID tests, and then when I was filming Edge of Sleep, I did a lot of COVID tests. Oh, I got really used to it, to the point where they could jam it in my nose, and then I had the NG tubes. They jam it in my nose, and I wasn't even really blinking. And so I freaked the guy out at the Seoul airport, because they don't give a shit. They're doing thousands of passengers. They like jam right in. But I'm looking at him, and I'm like, he's got through the glass with the rubber gloves, like sticking through the glass to get at you.
Fun.
And he jams it way up there, and I don't even blink. I look him dead in the eye and don't even flinch when it's happening. And it's just, and usually, because everyone going up there like, because you just had it shoved in your nose. But I've had so many shoved in my nose that I just like dead stare at him. And I'm not trying to stare him down, but after it goes in, he's like, literally one of those, what? And then he pulls it back out and shoves it deeper. And then I go, fuck, why? Almost bashed into my brain, and I'm like, jeez.
That's the calibration for the test. When the person flinches, you're far enough, and you didn't flinch, and he was like, oh.
I think that's what it was. I really do think.
You stared him in the eye, and he's like, this son of a bitch, I'll show him.
He thinks he's gonna beat me.
No one makes eye contact with me while I nose swab him.
So that sucked. But I have small talk. That wasn't my small talk.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I do, if there's still time. So I have a new hobby, a new expensive hobby.
Yeah, we know about the lenses.
No. You don't understand.
All right, who's our next guest gonna be who like breaks a house trying to get you your thing?
No, it's not like that at all.
Is it mobile games? They can be expensive.
They can be, but it's not mobile games. I want to build a render farm.
That's not as exciting as you're trying to make it seem.
Well, come on!
I am personally, I do think that's interesting, because I'm interested exactly at what the infrastructure for that is and how you set that up. But like, to normal people, that's an even tougher sell than lenses. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to let you cook here only because I filled up my Synology the other day. I've had it for, 10 years. I've had it for a very long time. And it's got 30 terabytes of storage. Last night I went to transfer some files. It's full up.
Damn.
So if you've got space for me, Mark, I'm in.
Yeah, so I think, Wade, you'll like this, because when I was doing that whole hard drive stint, which people forgot about when the lenses took over, but I was doing a hard drive thing there for a bit.
Yeah, when you were Thunderstruck, or whatever it was called.
Yes, exactly, Thunderbolt. So I built a server that has 400 terabytes of storage, right? Because I was like, I'm going to future-proof this. I had went on a whole hard drive kick. I got some refurbished hard drives. If there's one thing I love is that doing these hobbies and trying to find a good deal for them, even because it's so expensive, a lot of these things. So I always try to find like the good deal for it. So I bought refurbished hard drives, and in every way that's a big no, don't do that. But it just so happened in a specific situation that I did this. There was some cryptocurrency that was based on hard drive space I talked about before, yada. But Render Farm is different because it's extremely difficult to get server infrastructure at a cheap price, unless you just so happen to be in an era where everyone with a data center is replacing their hardware with this new fancy AI bullshit hardware, and they're throwing everything out at incredible discounts, and you can find the most amazing server hardware ever on eBay for steep discounts.
Okay, how much is a steep discounted 400 terabyte?
Oh, you're not going to like this.
I'm talking like 50% plus discounts, right? How much is a 4090 right now, right? 4090.
Couple grand, isn't it?
$2,200 or something.
4090s right now is like $2,000, like around that. It's still very expensive. You can get some things with a 4090 in it, an entire CPU, RAM, like power supply, motherboard, case, all this shit for $2,400. So $400 more than the card and a 4090 in there. $400 more than the card itself for the entire fucking computer with an NVMe, 2 terabyte NVMe. It's got 64. Look at even my camera agrees.
What the shit why is that happening? Why is there a thumbs up on your
It's
face?
just so positive. You can get all that for $2,400. And that's still a lot of money. But you talk about getting a computer with a 4090 in it for that. Now here's the real kicker. That's just
Keep talking.
That's just domestic level computer hardware, right? At steep discounts. Because now is a better time than ever in the history of forever to get a computer, because there are so many companies that are trying to clear shit out to get this new shit in.
What do I search for on eBay for this? Give me some keywords.
What you want to look up on eBay is you want to find the specific server grade processor that you want, because what's happening is all these companies realize they need GPUs right now. So actually GPU deals are hard to come by for workstation level graphics, but you can still get good deals because people are still trading out computers. But you can get like 64, 96, 128 core processors in their server chassis with like a terabyte of RAM. I don't even know what you would do with a terabyte of RAM for like 80% off of the cost, and they are perfectly functional, very modern, like only a year or two old. But because every company in existence is trying to get rid of what they have and replace it with these bigger GPU based servers with like 8 GPUs in them, you can get the craziest shit. You can get the craziest shit for so much less. There's processors out there that are like $12,000. You can get 2 of them. You can get 2 of them for like a 25% of the price, which is a lot. I haven't bought these, but this is why I'm like, now is the greatest time in the history of forever to build a render farm.
I want to see your $500,000 server setup.
You don't need to spend $500,000. What was I just telling you?
I don't know. I had left.
Oh yeah, you weren't here. Where did you go?
I had important business to take care of.
I'm with you, Mark. I see what you're laying down.
Yeah, you see what I'm laying down? You see?
So what? You're going to lease space and just buy a bunch of secondhand servers and set up a render farm thing for cheap for people to use?
No, just do it in my garage. If I have to lease space, that's going to cost more money. But if I do it in my garage,
Where's the car go?
my car hasn't been in my garage for a year, man.
Yeah, I mean, he had movie set in there and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I have a whole set in there. But once that's gone, now the movie's done, I have space for everything. And I put air conditioning in there because filming in there in the summer was such a pain because it wasn't air conditioned. So I put an oversized air conditioner in my garage so I can have a server rack in my garage.
I can't believe you filmed a whole movie in your garage. I didn't realize that.
I picked up a lot of shots in my garage. I was basically talking about it for the past year, wasn't I?
He did talk a lot about that. Yeah, I feel like.
Huh. That's crazy. You know what, Mark? Points to, I don't know, someone.
So I want to build a render farm. I want to get some sweet deals on some sweet computers and put them into my garage. And I'm sure that buying this shit off of eBay is definitely reliable.
Well, so you're saying eBay, these companies aren't going out of business, but they still probably like offload these to just like wholesalers or something, right? Can you go to like in-person auctions where this stuff would be even cheaper, probably?
For sure. I haven't scratched the surface of where these sales are. I've only really just started looking and finding like incredible deals. If anybody knows the secret ins of where to get this shit for the cheapest prices, put it on the subreddit. Let me know about it. I'm about to start a rendering revolution because online render services cost way too much. And if I can do it from home, because I got solar panels, so I don't even need to pay for the electricity, okay?
Man, if we have a zombie apocalypse, you're going to be able to film movies from your house. You're crazy.
Mark's never going to have to stop making content.
Yeah, one can only hope. One can only hope. Anyway, that's my small talk.
All right. Good small talk.
I have other small talk.
Okay.
I have more small talk if there's an opportunity for it.
Yeah, I mean, make it quick because I'm on a timer now.
I haven't talked about B12 since we were talking about it before.
Yeah, I was going to say, we talked about that before.
Is that a plane or a vitamin or something else?
It's a vitamin.
It's a band.
I'm familiar with the BGs.
Me too. Anyway, B12 is a vitamin. It's actually the most complex, chemically complex vitamin that humans need. I didn't know that. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
One of the few ones with cobalt in them, which is why it's called cobalamin.
Is it a reaction chemical? Fuck, what was that episode we just did?
Research chemicals?
Research, not reaction. Reaction chemicals.
No, but this is a vitamin. It's B12. Everybody needs it. And for some people, there's starting to be research that some people with ADHD, or maybe everyone in general, can have a deficiency in B12 because it is not available in nearly any plant source at all, except for seaweed.
Can you just buy like a B12 supplement at the store? Like how hard is this?
You can, but there's actually a new version of it called methylcobalamin, which is methylated cobalamin. And the previous version, as we talked about before, was cyanocobalamin, which is bound to cyanide.
Oh, right. That's not great.
It's fine. You're never going to take it in quantities enough that it would be a problem. But the problem is people think that the quantities with which the body needs, like cobalamin or B12, is higher than necessary. Anyway, all I'm going to say is anecdotally, this is all anecdotally, I started taking B12 because I take ADHD medication. I switched from Adderall to Astaris. And then I started, like when I was working on the last leg of the movie, I started taking B12 every day. And I got to say, completely anecdotally, it did help. It was actually a significant improvement in my ability to concentrate. There was also all the pressure of it, so I can't say for sure it was exactly that. You know, I was still taking, obviously, a what is known as a controlled substance for my ADHD, but it was still, like, I think there was a marked improvement in my ability to, like, go through the day, concentrate, focus, have energy. It was really nice. So there's a little evidence to that. And I felt pretty good about it.
B12 plus like crack or whatever it is you take for your ADHD.
Yeah, take some meth, take some B12.
Really helped.
It's not meth, and you guys are perpetuating a stigma.
No, I was not commenting on your ADD medicine. I was commenting on the methylcobalamin.
Methylcobalamin is just a fancy name for a form of B12.
It's readily available. I might order some.
It's nice. I do think it's good. And I don't know about taking too much of it. I haven't noticed my body exploding in any capacity, so I have no idea, but I seem to be okay.
Markiplier B leaves in B12. You heard it here first. Not sponsored.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Points for boldness.
Points for boldness.
Where's the B? I don't know. I needed a B word. I gave you bold instead of bitch.
Points for bitchness.
With bitchable Bob. With bitch boy Bob.
I can't do a Baltimore impression.
No one can.
Man, Amy and I, we listened to animal noises on the road over to Charleston. That was a really funny episode.
People loved animal noises, man. That was a hit. Well, before Mark has more small talk, you guys both got some segue points, and then I should take them back away because Mark just kept going. But a lot of the talk early on has been about stuff with our body. And this episode is about how our bodies are betraying us. Not necessarily because we're getting older. That is an episode topic we could have. But I mean, even when we were younger, our bodies have betrayed us.
Oh.
We can talk about this more in depth, but the thoughts I had, Mark, obviously you can't drink. That's been a thing you've dealt with. I have an allergy to a specific medication that made me break out into hives. And then my like near passing out thing that just happened. We've all needed to wear glasses and stuff over the years because our eyes just aren't good enough. I want to talk about our bodies and how they're betraying us and how we're going to get back at them.
I get back at mine every day. You kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, I did have a good segue for that with the methylcobalamin.
I mean, Bob started this off talking about eyes and wanting to talk about like eye surgery and stuff, which was I was like, dude, what a great segue. And then, Mark, you were coming back with the eyes, and then you started talking about server stuff. I was like, that's less body. But then you went to B12. I was like, oh, B12. So yeah, let's talk about the horrible things our bodies have done to us and how they've betrayed us and failed us over the years. So, like I said, for me, I was playing Lost Ark as a healer and heard the horrible popping noise that athletes describe. And in my very athletic mouse movement as a healer, I felt the pop of my slap tear, my horrible astigmatism and vision, my stupid reaction to having some spray and a camera down my nostrils yesterday or whenever it was, where I was just like turning pale and falling over. This body has failed me. Look, bald.
I thought that was a choice.
Choice on the sides.
Are you looking for us to be antagonistic towards our body? I feel like
You don't necessarily have to be. I was, but you can be nice about it.
I was just gonna say I don't really blame my body for what we're dealing with over here on my end. The eyes thing is not great. to at least some extent, the rest of my issues, I feel like, I have my hand in that. I don't work out. Feels like I don't ever work out, but I do sometimes. It's just not nearly enough. I don't eat very healthy. My body fights pretty hard considering the odds that I've given it. I'm not a particularly healthy person. I smoked tobacco when I was younger. I don't drink alcohol anymore. That's one thing I do, but I don't know, I feel like he's doing his best. Like just trying his best,
I'm ready to talk about how my body betrayed me. Specifically, my brain. Let me tell you something. I know I've talked about this endlessly. I was talking about it before. But I do think, imagine how unstoppable I'd be without ADD.
Do you feel like it would stifle your creative side if you didn't have that or something? Do you feel like it would change you in a way that would affect how you see things and like what you make or how you go about things? Because I do feel like I don't like that I'm so unfocused and that it's a struggle, and I'm still trying to work out like ways to help myself deal with that and be more consistent with stuff. But I don't think I'd be the same person if I wasn't as completely all over the place and like ADD as I am. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a whole different person.
For sure. Which is why I don't actually want to like blame my body. There's a thing, like I always say, when I got diagnosed for ADHD, my life only improved for the better. But also, I think a lot of what I am and who I am comes from, this mentality of just like, oh, I think the way I do, therefore I am the way that I am, even if I trying to be more focused. That's like, it's a fun goal to have, I guess. Not fun, but it's a goal to have. I do think though that medication has helped in a significant capacity, all supplementation aside. I don't think that I would be able to do the things that I want to do without it. And not that I always hate saying that, but there's a certain reliance on medication that is difficult, which is why I wanted to switch off of Adderall for so long. I knew that it was getting like in the way more than it was actually helping, and there was a kind of almost an unhealthy reliance on it. I wondered about that when I was on Adderall, and I was wondering, like, is it me that's actually like pushing to do these things, or is it this medication? Not that it's like a magic bullet, but it's the fact that when you first get diagnosed and you first are like on something, you're like, yes, this is great, it answers all my problems, and then you realize like it's not an answer to all your problems, and you still have to do a lot of things in supplementation to it. Which is why when I found this new medication, that's why I like it so much, is because not only does it not feel like I'm not myself, it actually feels like I'm more myself, and I'm able to actually sleep and work at it. But it also feels like all it does and all I've ever wanted it to do is just kind of clear the sandpaper feeling when I'm doing something I don't want to do. Like, so long as I can get that actual physical pain and magnetic repulsion from doing the things I want to do, that's what I want to do. So I never like to blame it too much or also praise it too much, but I at the same time, finding that balance is a lifelong pursuit. So what was the question? I forget.
Wade, I'm just ignoring Wade's topic at this point, I guess. But you know what I watched recently? There was a Smart Everyday YouTube channel put out a video recently about his experience in photographing the eclipse that recently happened. He had a friend who's all about totality, who's like I assume he's an astronomer or something, but he's like huge on totality eclipses and has seen and was like really hyped for the totality that happened during the most recent one. They took a film camera picture of the stages of the eclipse on one exposure. And it's very cool. The picture is unbelievable because it's literally one piece of film that they just repeatedly exposed they timed it very particularly, and they have this perfectly spaced phases of the eclipse and then totality. And it looks like a Photoshop thing, right? Where you aggregate a bunch of pictures together, but it's literally just one piece of film. They just did it, captured it perfectly. The whole episode is about how in depth that his colleague was excited about this, and they worked together and they set up all this stuff. And the only thing that it made me think is, God, I wish I liked anything as much as this guy is excited about this one photograph he's taking. And I have this internal thing where I'm like, well, I can't stay focused. I have passion for things, but my ADD ruins it. And I can't tell if that's just me making excuses or if it's really just that it's a different kind of, because it's not like a hyper fixation for him. It was a genuine like joy of joys, tears welling in his eyes. Like, I don't feel like I get that in life. Do you feel like when you're now that I don't know how you feel about where you are, but you have like treatment pretty balanced, and obviously you just did the movie, which is a whole stretch. Do you feel like that has changed when you have your ADHD better managed, or do you feel like that's not related to that? I've just always been curious because I've always felt this, like I don't stay focused on one thing for long enough to get just like deeply passionately into it for like weeks, months, years at a time. I just keep moving from thing to thing.
I think that definitely it helps to have that longer term relationship with the thing that you are obsessed with, because before I got in any kind of medication, it was very much just like I wasn't able to latch on to anything besides World of Warcraft maybe, but even that felt more like an addiction than like a passion. Like one of my biggest concerns on Adderall was that I didn't feel that kind of passion. I felt like I could do things, but not that I was actually interested in it. It was just like, okay, I can do things, but I don't know why. I lost a lot of that like really connection to things. But now that I'm on Astaris and I'm able to actually manage it better, and I'm aware of myself and my body and my brain and like the habits that I have, I feel like I can get more of an attachment to things and feel more passionate about things. Like, I mean, you've seen it probably with like hard drives. Hard drives are probably the most boring shit that anybody can imagine. I got genuine joy and excitement every time I read something new about hard drives or figured something out or I puzzled something out. Same with lenses. Once I had it in front of me and I could really chase it. These are all like 4-month cycles or 4 to 6 month cycles, so they're longer term. And now when I was looking at it, and it's all in relation to the problems that revolve around the main thing that I like, which is the filmmaking. All of this, all those things are just side effects of the main pillar that I like, which is filmmaking. And I didn't choose to be like, I'm going to really love hard drives. It's just like hard drive was a problem, but answering the problem was what was really rewarding and really felt good about it. And so that passion getting into it is just a result of the main passion that I had that I've been keeping on for a very long time. I don't know if that answers your question, but it very much is like there has to be that core pillar, I think, because, you know, the Eclipse might be what that guy really, really, really loves. And that's like the core of it. And then that leads to the obsession of like, how can I capture this in a way that no one else has with a film camera and re-exposing it? And then seeing the result of that work enhances your main goal of the Eclipse. It just like, and that's what can lead to like it being so beautiful that you're crying, or like you said. And yeah, so everything is just like comboing together, I suppose.
Well, that's our reporter in the field, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thank you. And it's all thanks to drugs. Back to you. I got a lot of methylcobalamin to take.
A lot of research chemicals over here, guys.
Anyway, I'm still not mad at my body, Wade. I feel like I don't share your antagonism towards my body, even though my body is kind of causing this thing that we were just talking about. But I want to feel that about something. And it sounds really bad because I have like a family and a kid and a wife. And I'm not saying I don't feel a very deep and serious love towards them and for them. But like, yeah, the passion for something that I'm choosing to do or like a hobby is different for me than like family. Family is constant and it's always there. And that is not.
I was confused because you said like, I don't hate my body, but I do want to feel that about something. And I have a family. And
no, yeah. Well, I just, this, when I think about this and bring this up, I always feel awkward because it's like, I'm not trying to say I don't love my family. I'm looking for something to actually care about. But like as far as hobbies and stuff go, I feel like I just go from thing to thing. It feels like it's hard to stick with anything because the initial once the initial excitement wears off of like, oh, this is new. I've never had a thing where I was so passionate that I was like, I'm gonna keep staying excited about this for years and years.
I don't either. For me, it's video games, and I don't even stick with those. Like I switch video games a lot. It's like I'll really enjoy a game, I'll play the heck out of it, and then I get tired of that game, and it's kind of like I'm in a funk till the next one comes around. It's like I've really been in a lull with video games, so I'm trying to get back to playing basketball a little bit. I got like some Lego sets to build. I don't really care about collecting. I do like building, like Legos and stuff like that. Like I enjoy the building process. Then like once it's done, it's like I don't care to look at my finished product. It's like whatever, just give it away. I don't at that point.
I like Mark's solution. I think you're right, Mark. I need more drugs in my life.
Yeah, I think you need more drugs.
If you guys learned a lot about me in the last episode, is that I like to complain and be mad. That's a very me thing. So being mad and complaining about my body is definitely on brand.
Well, I'm sorry I don't share your sentiment. I'm trying to participate in your topic, but I feel like I'm just an excuse making.
You only get mad at fridge deliveries, not yourself.
Hey, Listen, they knew something that I didn't know about how wide gates can be. Okay, so
I think growing up, I had like a low self-esteem for no particular reason. It's not like I was an ugly kid or anything. Like I feel like I was like looking back, I was like, okay.
You sure? You sure about that? You sure? Are you sure you weren't an ugly kid? Are you sure?
I had a phase where like my ears looked huge. And I was wearing like I got my first pair of glasses and they were like some horrible looking glasses combined with my ears.
It sounds like he knows the truth, Mark.
I did look terrible for a couple of years. I don't know. Looking back, I was like, I wasn't that bad. But at the time, it's like, oh God, I hate myself. Maybe it's just a teenager thing. Getting the receding hairline early on was definitely painful. Like that was tough. Like high school, college, having like the receding hairline in the back and everything. Did not like that. But I just think about stuff like being really sick on vacation, taking my medicine, and then I was trying to cure my illness. This 1 teaspoon of medicine broke me out into hives for 5 days. And hives, if you've never had them, are one of the worst things you can experience. I feel like I have had multiple illnesses and injuries, but hives were pretty bad.
I don't know, worst things.
Worst things you can experience?
I'm sure, like, cancer, there are worse things, but of like non-life threatening, horrible things.
Of relatively harmless things that you can experience, maybe they are pretty unpleasant.
I won't compare it to like cancer, something I've never been through, but of like non-life threatening, horrible things. Like I fractured my wrist, the slap tear. I would take those over the hives. I probably wouldn't take concussions over the hives, even though they didn't bother me as much, but long-term effects can be worse for concussions. But
concussion's bad.
Like just in my mind, of the torturous, horrible things my body's been through over the years, hives is like always the first one I think of, for whatever that's worth. It was just 4 days of nonstop, everything itching. Can't sleep, can't do anything because all I want to do is scratch all day, all night. All I can think of is how itchy my whole body is from head to toe. I don't know. Like the worst part of a bug bite, like when it's at its itchiest, it was that sensation all over for 4 straight days. That sucked.
I've got a thing where my body betrays me that I just realized that I should talk about.
And you hate it and you're angry?
Yes, I do hate it, and I am angry about it.
Yes.
Maybe someone can diagnose me. I love it when people on the internet diagnose me for things that I have. So I have this thing where the front muscle on my right calf, like my shin, but it's the muscle that goes along the right, if my right leg along the right side of it going down towards the foot. So that muscle, whatever that muscle, I can't remember in anatomy what it is. Every single time that I do any kind of exercise where I have to lift my front of my foot on that leg and that muscle gets used like to pull up my toes or something like that, if I do it too much or in any like excessive capacity, it will hurt for a week. For a week straight, that muscle. It's not running. It's not like I'm doing a lot. It's if I'm driving and I lift my foot to go from gas to brake. If I drive for too long in a car that doesn't have cruise control, I will be in agony for a week because that muscle really, really sucks.
According to WebMD, you're dying. This might gross people out, but I used to have a wart here. And I took a pair of tweezers and toenail clippers and I cut it and tore it and ripped it out.
What the fuck?
That's not what you're supposed to do with that.
No, but I was like in high school and for some reason, here was my thought process. I was like, listen, I'm pre-law. I'm going to have to shake a lot of important hands one day. And what if they're left-handed and they touch my wart and they're grossed out and I ruin a relationship? So I've got to get rid of this. I better do it now. I could probably just cut it off. And so I did. Wouldn't recommend anyone do that. I'm sorry for the uneasiness I probably just caused, but I did literally just...
This is a horrible.
I did literally do that to myself.
Did you have any bad fallout from that? And also, did it hurt?
No, I ran the tweezers under the tap before I started digging in, so it was very clean.
Oh, perfect. All right, cool.
Oh,
Good.
I made sure it was sanitary.
Okay.
Woo!
I wanted a sterile environment for my surgery.
Dodge that cannonball.
It was very painful. I will say it was very painful to do.
That was maybe a sign from your body about what you were doing. Your body was all, whoa, hey, whoa. And you were like, shut up.
Wasn't taking no for an answer for my body on that one. I was like, it's going and there's nothing you could say or do.
I think you betrayed your body at that point. I'm pretty sure you're the traitor.
Yeah, no, that's you. That's definitely a betrayal on your part. That's right.
Yeah, I did that and I feel kind of bad about it.
I've never been very flexible, and I know that's a thing you can improve, but I feel like I have low points in that stat, and it's really unfortunate. I could probably get better, but there's definitely a limit on how flexible I could be. I don't think that really hurts me in my day-to-day life or anything, but I just wish I was, Am I overlooking things? Is my body doing stuff to me that I'm not even considering right now?
Probably. Get a doctor to look at you.
I see a doctor regularly, and they're always like, You fat, but that's all right. Maybe lose some of that. And I'm always like, oh, I'm trying, man. Not trying that hard, but I am trying.
Bob, I envy your just forgiveness of your body. Mark and I understand the self-hatred of our body's failures.
Ever since I discovered the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me.
We were wondering what would break first, our body or our spirit. Is our spirit or our body? I think he says, I don't know which order does Bane say before he breaks Batman's back? Is it spirit or body or spirit?
No one cares.
Is that important?
Why you keep quoting the worst Batman?
What? No, in no universe is Christian Bale the worst Batman.
No, that movie. Of those three.
The worst of the Dark Knight trilogy, maybe. Sure, okay.
Okay, so an A tier movie that's not A plus like the first two. You know what I would say? I would say that the first 1 and 3 are A's and Dark Knight is an A plus.
You mean Dark Knight Rises?
No, Dark Knight is the Joker one. That's the A plus. Dark Knight Rises is the third movie, right? It's Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I like Christopher Nolan's movies to some degree.
All three of those I think are fantastic movies. I think the third one is a very underrated movie.
All right, I was about to shit on the first one, but okay.
You shit on the first one, but I still think it's a good movie.
Yeah, that's fair. Never mind. I withdraw.
Here's a weird question. Did the actress who played, oh God, what's her name? Rachel. Did the actress who played Rachel change between 1 and 2, or is my memory failing me right now?
It did. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal in the first one, right?
In the second one, that's Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Or in the that's it.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the actress in the first one, but Katie Holmes?
I think that's right.
Yeah, because she was married to Tom Cruise at the time, and I believe that there was some personal issues that were going on.
I love my wife.
Yes. And then they got divorced.
Wait, what does that have to do with the Batman movies?
That's why she wasn't in the second one.
Because she got divorced from Tom Cruise, and
it'd be going into gossip to like exactly say I know for certain this is why.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I know, I see.
I believe that there were some many personal issues going on behind the scenes.
Such a gossip, Mark. Goodness me.
That's me.
Mark's our celebrity insider.
That's me, yeah. Actually, sure.
He's even got the microphone.
It's me, I know.
I'm inside their house.
Exclamation point tonight with Markiplier.
Could be in a few years if things go real downhill.
No, it doesn't. You don't even have to change it. It's just E. It's perfect.
I'm going to wrap up this catastrophe of an episode. It's a catastrophe because of me, not you guys. For those who don't know out there, I've got someone in my house working on things right now, and they showed up 40 minutes early, 30 minutes early. I literally said step away to take a call. They're like, they'll be there in 30 minutes. I was like, oh, perfect. And they showed up 5 minutes later. No, that wasn't great. I kind of have to wrap for that reason, but also like, I don't know. I feel like we've covered some of our body things, and this will also leave stuff open for more discussion later on. Small talk was great today. I have a lot of small talk points. Any final things y'all want to say about bodies before I wrap it?
If there's one thing I know for sure about bodies, it's that they love to hit the floor.
And you should let them, according to that one song. Bob, you've got points for eyes. It looks like it says adhesive, but I think it says advice. Eye complaints?
That's going to be the thing you said you were never going to be able to read.
Segway body. Unfair IDK. ADHD not mad. Mark, I wrote down free eye surgery. That's right. You're giving us free eye surgery.
Yes, you know it.
So you got points for paying for our eye surgery.
Yep.
Strong eyes. Something that looks like it says Schlunny. Schlunny.
You guys need some goddamn handwriting books or something. Like this is an outrage.
Bold points. Hold the mic points. B12.
I can hold my mic. Look.
ADHD. Oh, advice. Drugs in all caps. And then someone got 3 points for Morick Garage.
I talked about my garage, I guess.
It's a good thing you wrote all that down.
I think I said at one point I'm gonna give someone 3 points. So I wrote down someone and gave him 3 points.
So not Mark, but not me also. That's fine, I guess. I feel like you wrote down a lot more things for Mark still than you did for me.
You know, it's funny you say that. Let me count up the points. Mark, you got 5, 10, 12 points from all those things I said.
That seems like a lot more.
Bob, you actually have 13 points.
Oh, never mind.
Fuck.
Wow, that's how you do that? Well, I can understand why you have such a hard time reading it now.
Man, it's really hard to fit the description by the points there, but that's the way I do it. I can even go back. That's how I've been doing it for a while, and you know.
I believe you. Just you can use like the whole page. My episode notes are like pages. You can turn the page.
I like counting my points real nice and quick. Hey, we didn't say our systems had to be good. We just had to have written systems.
I mean, if you could read what you just wrote in the last 15 minutes, that would be...
You should be very careful complaining, Bob. You are winning.
I'm always blown away by how much of a hard time you have with reading, because it's not like hard words, sure. But you'll read things and be like, Regleninston.
It's not me, it's this pen. This pen just writes real sloppy like.
Oh, you need some better pens, dude.
Yeah, I got the sloppy pen.
Well, I talked about pens on an episode. You got to get some of these cool ones.
I want to go back to when gel pens were the cool thing. I want to get some gel pens.
This is a gel pen.
This is just one of those pens that writes, and look how bad it writes. Look at that.
This is the Uniball 1.
Look at the handwriting that this pen did. I left all that space for more points. You guys could have earned so many points today. All I know is I said at the beginning that Mark wasn't going to win this episode. That turned out to be true. So Mark, how much did you bet against me?
I think he bet you 1 eye surgery plus expenses.
I actually bet on myself to lose, so I'm coming up big. I owe myself twice the money I bet myself.
Wow, that's good math. Well, congrats on that, Mark. Congrats on winning your bet and not winning the episode. Do you want to tell us a speech about that?
Sure, absolutely. I'll say it in a sentence. I was about to say a song, and I don't want to do that.
A song that you have to rhyme.
Oh, you can sing a song, buddy. Go ahead.
Oh! I am so grateful for the opportunity to participate today. Even though I did not come out on top, it was very fair, and there was no bias in any way, shape, or form.
When did you wink at shape?
I didn't wink.
Okay, I mean, you're right. There was no bias. I didn't have time for bias today, man. I was only half here for the episode. Bob, you won spectacularly, deservedly, never more fairly in the history of this episode. Every point you got, honestly, you probably deserved an extra one for. But it was fair. There was definitely no bias shown, and you won. So you want to give a winner speech?
I feel like that's the same thing you were saying that I was saying about Bob in the last episode.
Oh, was it? It sucks, man.
It feels good to win. Thank you, Wade, for doing that handshake deal. Mark, I just want to let you know, you have been saying repeatedly since the Council of Distractible that handshake deals are outlawed. I checked. Handshake deals are outlawed during council episodes and during vote episodes. But in normal episodes, we are 100% still allowed to execute any kind of handshake deals we so please. There is no reason that we can't continue to make and honor them, and I appreciate you, Wade. I gave you literally nothing, and you gave me a win just for asking. And Mark, that's what you get for leaving the room, I guess.
Yep. Somehow, I should never have gone to where I did go.
And Wade was gone for a long time today.
I still find time to shake. Like a wet dog, I shake.
Amen.
Anyway, I felt like Mark really outclassed me today in a lot of ways, but
If I was here for it, he might have won, but apparently I wasn't.
I earned the win in my own special way, not with skill or talent.
I did write down a lot of things. I must have given you more points for some of the things you said, and just him 1 point for everything I wrote, because I did have a lot of notes for him.
Yeah, there are like a lot of Mark notes and like several of mine that were way less than him. But fair is fair.
I did give you a lot of points early on, though. I gave you like 4 points to start with for the segue. I was like, dude, body stuff right off the bat, eyes. What a great topic for today. So you did get like a good head start there, Bob.
Take that, Mark.
And someone, congrats on your 3rd place finish. Whichever one of you it was out there, congratulations. Whoever you think you are on the subreddit, you can put your 3rd place speech if you'd like. For now, that's Bob. You can find him at MySkirm. That's Mark. You can find him at Markiplier. I'm Wade. You can find me at LordMinion777 or Minion777, depending on where you look. We have merch at distractablestore.com.
Interesting way to say it. Very creative.
Distractablestore.com. There's stuff and things you can get. Stay tuned for the next one where Bob, who won this episode fairly and squarely, probably the most fair win of all time, honestly, will host the next one. But thank you all for joining. Stay tuned for that one. Until then, podcast out.